Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gears Pro League Day 2. I am fighting off a cold, so I keep muting my microphone to blow my nose so that you all don't hear the trombone that is this schnozola when I release the beast. But Toby, we are back for our second matchup of the night. It's Rise versus Rebel. You feeling good about this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of feeling good, Rise had a very good major, clearly, so first time we've seen them on broadcast perform since then in a professional setting. So this is great. This is really fun, actually. And it definitely meant a lot to you, actually, Colin. I remember watching back the VOD a second time and just seeing your comments after the cast. Amazing cast, by the way, with PR. It was a pleasure to see. And, you know, clearly you were passionate. Clearly Avexys and Affinity, the coach, were passionate. The whole team, it meant so much to them. And, of course, the organization, as Ryan Fools touched upon many times. It was a really big deal, and it's cool to see them once more.
Well, here's our roster for the Rise boys: RushieZ, Avexys, DeTox, and INZEM, the reigning defending champions of Gears Esports. And Toby, you thought it was emotional for me, brother. Did you see that two of our very own Gears fam went and got Rise tattoos?
I did not see that, no. I'm ashamed to actually say that as well. I need to definitely check that out in immediately if I can. Just side eye off the monitor, just, you know, scrolling away.
I'm gonna have to hit you with it. I'm just gonna have to send it over to you so you don't have to worry about it. Let's take a look though at the Rebel roster. Monkyz comes over from the Pittsburgh Knights in what is a straight up trade for identives, joining the likes of Crack, Kardia, and Xploidz. And last night, Xploidz took over the matchup and really put Rebel on his back. Do you see them being able to do the same thing today?
Yeah, that's what we're looking out for right now. I mean, yesterday we were testing the water, I guess, in many ways to see how Monkyz are slotted into this roster. They played very well, Colin, I can confirm. A pleasure to cast over, but they're against the champions. You know, you said it. They are definitely an extremely good team, our Rise, and I'm sure they're going to continue with a similar form and a similar consistency and effort above all else going into the split, just based on that passion alone. They're not going to let up now, are they?
I don't see any reason for them to let up, and I don't see any reason for our player to watch to let up. One of the longest tenured professional Gears players are living, breathing right now. The one and the only Avexys, an incredible major performance out of him. I know that he's got to be feeling unbelievably great about his team, about his performance, but most of all, no one can ever take it away from him now. Avexys is a champion of Gears Esports. I know that's got to put a smile on his face from year to year.
Oh, no doubt about it. Especially with that KD 2.32. You know, it speaks for itself. Not only the major, but also statistically, Avexys has always been a star player. Qualitatively speaking, you know, you said it plenty of times during the cast. His movement is some of the best movement we've ever seen in Gears of War, not just in Gears 5 and Pro Play, but in general. Right, a huge YouTube following. He's got so many fans around the world, and kind of that core member of Rise that's been with different variations of the roster, that's been trying to find the success that they know he and the rest of the roster is capable, and the org as well, as, you know, and forming that huge bond and that huge team behind the roster is a very important factor too. And with that confidence, it was amazing to see that they finally, you know, found that in the major. And I'm sure, like I said, they're going to be gunning for another one this time around.
We'll see how their campaign starts, though. They were 3-0, clean sweep, 100% in maps last night. Let's take a look at our map picks and bans, starting off with the bans, as always, here between Rise and Rebel. I am a bit surprised to see that first ban out, though, from Rise. Is Rise really that much of a struggle on Spire? Do they just want to get kind of Rebel's auto pick away from them?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I think my default jerk reaction to that, Colin, is that Spire is a typical map to ban out. It's kind of the first one, like, what don't we necessarily want to play? All right, we're not too fussed about that one. Let's just get rid of it. And I think that's the same for a lot of these maps. Similar with Harbor in many ways too. Rebel have had a really good split, actually, previously in Pro League on that map, but Rise have also had some very good moments too, so they're going to ban that out as is common. Rise banning out of Fira as well. Interesting one. I think it really does lend itself to Rebel's game play in many ways. But of course, it's the picks that matter the most, as that's what we'll be seeing. Reactor control from Rise. Plenty of amazing performances, similar to KCP in many ways, that they've had on this particular one in majors. Rebel are going for Clocktower once more. No shock there. They are, I think they were second best statistically on this map of all teams in the previous split, Colin. They even beat KCP on it, I think. I'm pretty sure about that. Vasgar, RushieZ, no shock there. Amazing, best statistically on that map too in the previous split. And then we see the typical Regency and Tomb execution come through as well. Love this actual pick and ban process for RushieZ, I'll be honest. But Rebel, having that second map, Clocktower, things could get a little bit spicy, and it might be the ticket for Rebel especially to get into the series.
Hey, look, I like spicy, whether it's Old Bay, whether it's, you know, steak season, whether it's just classic salt and pepper, just trying to give it a little bit of that extra punch. I always am a big fan of the spices, baby, even a little cayenne pepper on just about anything. That's how I fight off colds, by the way. I make my toast, I put butter on it, and then I put cayenne pepper on it. It just, everything comes flooding out, brother. I mean, it is just a whirlwind of emotions, but I feel great for about a couple hours afterwards. Let's get into what we might feel good about, though, with these predictions, all right? Who's going to take this one? RushieZ, Rebel. I put you on the spot last time. I said you got to put your money where your mouth is. Northern Forces or Pioneers. This time, I'm going to take the leap of faith first. And, I mean, is it really a leap? I feel like I'm just kind of sticking my toe in the water saying I believe RushieZ is just going to keep on riding that momentum, riding that wave of love and energy all the way to the bank. I'm going to take RushieZ over Rebel.
Why am I not surprised? I mean, you love passion. I mean, even if RushieZ were going to lose this one, potentially on paper, you know, statistically speaking, I think you'd still go with RushieZ, Colin. So the fact that they are the confident and definitely not the underdog in this matchup, it goes to show that I think both you and me will be selecting them for our predictions. RushieZ are going to take this one. I mean, Rebel looking really good. They were fantastic yesterday on broadcast. They had a great series against Casa, winning 3-1. But in terms of the map pick and ban process, I don't think it's strong enough in Rebel's favor to change anything up too majorly. I think RushieZ will take it.
I'm not trying to Pete Rose myself, but I'm pretty sure I know how the chat's going to predict because I put 128K on RushieZ in the chat points, baby. I'm not trying to do that right here, but I figured I know where they going with that one. I made damn sure if I was going down, I was taking chat with me this time.
Damn, clout. That is some clout right there. 128K just to get it through. And
you don't have any idea. I'm tired of losing to Twitch chat. If I want to ruin their predictions one night, I'm ruining their predictions one night.
Fair enough. That's yeah. I mean, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. We're all in the chat. We're all in the chat. We're all fans. We're all viewers around here. Just we also get a mic in front of us and a camera. That's all, Colin. And clearly,
and half the people don't want that in front of me. I can tell you that.
You're wrong. You're wrong, my friend, and that's for sure. By the way, look at that background. That is something very nice indeed, Colin. I haven't told you that before. I love the color. I love the logo in the back.
You're lucky that the voice of God won't let me put my dad as my background because I could do that instantaneously.
Do it. Go for
it. Look at old dad behind me, boy, always watching over me, keeping me safe and sound. I think it's the same chair and everything. Look at this thing. I can line myself over my own head. You want Inception?
That's funny. I love it.
Can't help it. Look, it's one of my favorite things ever since they started teaching me. I'm a monkey with math problems. I might be able to tell you what 2 + 2 means, but the second you teach me how to do something with technology, I'm gonna run away with that bad boy. I'm gonna just find a way to make it ridiculous.
Hey man, in Twitch chat yesterday, I read that this is actually a blue trampoline that's just sat behind me. So I mean, I can't really keep up with you on that.
That would be amazing.
Well,
like if you saw like an amazing play and you just kind of threw yourself into it and like bounce back, that'd be. I need that. I need that, son.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Or if you get bored and you need to exercise, you could just lay it flat and then jump on it while you cast.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah. Just in between breaks as well, just to let off a little bit of energy and steam, ready for the next series, right?
You know, just
a reset.
Get the heart rate a little bit high so that your Apple Watch doesn't look at you and be like, hey, brother, you need to stand up. You're like, I'll do you one better. I'll be jumping. Don't worry. I'll be jumping in a second. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be very fun indeed. Question is, are RushieZ going to have a fun time today in this series? Is it going to be a confident 3-0, you know, in terms of the predictions? That's where we went, 3-0, right? Chat is definitely on our side. But I'm hoping Rebel can really turn up in this series, Colin. I really do, because they were impressive yesterday. Crack in particular, just below us here on the camera, had a fantastic time in pretty much every map we saw him. And Mono as well. Of course, that is Monkyz with the new game attack. He was also doing really well too. Let's see how he does against RushieZ.
Is he like the younger brother of Stereo?
That's, I mean, me and Taylor were talking about this exact topic as soon as we could.
Oh my god!
We didn't say... did we? I think we said audio at some point. We didn't say mono stereo. That was kind of what I was thinking. And then Twitch chat went on a discussion as to what it means and, you know, and which one they prefer. I prefer Monkyz, you know? He's an animal. And I like that, you know, he's had that tag for the longest period of time. And comparing him against, you know, Identities yesterday. Of course, he swapped rosters with them. That's a well-known name for sure. And I didn't like when Identities changed his name to Danny for that reason. You know, stick with your brand. That's my opinion on it. But,
I ain't mad at you. Look, I think you're smart enough to know what you're talking about. Let's see what happens here. Early goings of this one, Rebel's going to have the point advantage here on Reactor, and they got to be feeling good about this. Back A onto Mono there, gets the kill for Avexys, and now Avexys trying to get a revive onto his teammate. They're going to trade out revives, as a matter of fact. Go ahead, have the last 20 seconds. I don't mind. That's what they said, because they're already running off to the other side of the map. They're rotating to P2 very quickly.
Oh, they are. Monkyz trying to find that third kill with a little bit of help from his teammates, and he will find it indeed. The fourth player of RushieZ just to his left. But, of course, Monkyz will continue to hold down here. The short spawn wasn't blocked up, and he's just learned that very quickly. As number 5 on our screen, DeTox, has got reinforcements around him, ready to push out this traditional spawn on Reactor. RushieZ just flown straight into him for some reason. Not sure what's going on there. Nash wasn't even out. Monkyz with the second. Should be a simple cleanup. Third, make that the ace with a little bit of support from the Lancer once more in this play from Xploidz just to his right. They tried again, Colin, to block this spawn, but they did eventually, but one player did sneak on through, of course. Number 8 should be at 2v1. Speaking of 2v1s, though, maybe Crack will find the second. Looking for the third, and he finds it as well. Monkyz and, of course, Crack going off already, Colin, in this game.
Kardia as well, picking up one. They're going to be inside of the hill. Early going, pretty dominant here on this map. Number 1 on Reactor. Torquebo Revs finds the pick there onto Avexys. Shot over the top. Won't be able to get the first one. Gets the help, though, from Xploidz, who rotates down to the bottom side. Reload in the Torquebo. This is going to be an active in the hand. Tries to get the shot out on RushieZ. Won't be able to get that one. 2 bolts left to use in the quiver. And for another pick here, drops one at the feet of those players from RushieZ. They back off for just a moment. Back into their position. Try to get their health back. Another Torquebo shot out for a splash damage. Won't be able to get that one either, but Mono will get the kill onto DeTox, and now they have the man advantage yet again here at the hill. And I mean, RushieZ is looking to run away yet again, trying to rotate around to P3.
Yeah, I like the decision there, Colin. You know, I think maybe even at least half the teams in the Pro League, maybe the majority would try and hold that, right, and just not run away. But RushieZ, as soon as they lost that fourth player, tried to exit and get the rotation at the very least onto the next hill, given there was only 25 seconds left on the current one. RushieZ being pushed again once more, hasn't got his shotgun out quick enough for the aggression in front of him. He will get taken down. Xploidz as well, speaking of aggression, immediately up Aing down right hand as soon as he locks in on that target. Crack is going to get found, though, as INZEM and RushieZ join the fight once more with the short spawn access. It looks like they'll hold on, Colin. They will hold on to this setup for this next hill, but how quick can Rebel regroup, reinforce, and push in on their side?
It's going to be extraordinarily tough. You can see RushieZ up top, sitting and waiting in the wings, just trying to wait for the retake from Rebel to come out. They're going to have to hold on to a decent amount of this time to try to cut into that lead Rebel has established off of the first 2. See what can happen here as Kardia will be marked up at this T table, at this L table, excuse me, L cover. RushieZ would look across here at the 90 degrees, shots over the top. DeTox adding in more damage with his Lancer. Sees Xploidz rolling away. They won't let them get away for free, won't let them skedaddle. Again, just keeping them damaged up, not letting them get into this position. 40-point differential, but Rebel has every power weapon on the map right now, Toby, and that is going to get ugly real quick for any possible retake that might come through from Rebel.
DeTox looking for his first kill of the game. With a little bit of help from Avexys, he should find it. Although Avexys himself does get stuck in the process. Speaking of power weapons, just got 1 shot left in that Torquebo. You might have noticed as well, Colin, so much respect being shown from Rebel on that last hill. Didn't push in the end, just waiting and collecting power weapons instead. DeTox 2-7 now, as he's starting to enter himself into the game. RushieZ as well hasn't got the best of KD so far, and admittedly had some mistakes so far in my estimation. Rebel definitely the opposite. 10-2 is now Monkyz as we catch back up with him. And here he is with Kardia, still approaching aggressively. RushieZ 2-8. Speaking of his KD now at this point in time, and the reason I say these numbers, Colin, is simply put, Rebel are playing out of their skin, but some of the RushieZ players haven't really entered the battlefield yet, so to speak, I think, and we're just waiting now for RushieZ to heat up and get themselves into the game in a big way.
Yeah, damage numbers kind of lacking across the board. KD's not as great as you'd like to see them. Shots out again. Here we go into P4 in neutral hill on the map. DeTox is going to get 3 flashes flown at him, and he's going to get flown at by 2 players. Maybe even a third opposite side. RushieZ might want to take their numbers, try to get a quick pick there onto Xploidz. RushieZ is going to have to get challenged out by Xploidz. Gets the win as well. He's that player down to try to rotate out, and that's going to be a down on a Kardia. RushieZ has a good retake here and a full clean sweep on Rebel, and this will be 126-75. New power weapons are going to spawn up here momentarily. 20 seconds on the torque bow, 1 second on the shock, 15 left on the fragmentation.
Torbo would do very well in RushieZ's hands right now, you feel. Rebel have just been dominant in those team fight victories. Avexys, I believe, was 2-8, maybe 3-8 at this point in time too. And now RushieZ, yes, lovely shot from him coming across over the top. Lovely to see. And now INZEM under a lot of pressure as well. Torbo, that is still the focus point. It's actually going to be Monkyz who grabs that in the end, despite such a long period for RushieZ waiting for that to spawn up. Avexys getting taken down now towards that next hill. Monkyz should be able to get away with his Torbo as well, running to the safety of his teammates to the right, pausing for a moment to check where he's getting pistol from. Yeah, definitely to safety, and the power weapon's lost once more, going into the hands of Rebel.
97-132 shots on. I believe one player rotating in very quickly for a possible little flank. That was DeTox, gets 3v1, and now through the backside. Answer fire out, looking for a torpedo pick here. Will miss that shot, needs to find a kill, needs to find it down anywhere. On the flank comes RushieZ. He's going to go down as well. It seems like RushieZ continues to run into basically 2v1s or 3v1s, and that is just not what you can have if you want to be able to win against Rebel. If you keep giving them the numbers advantage around the map, they're going to more than happily take it time in and time out.
I think you're right, honestly. It's a combination of two things here. One team playing extremely well, one team definitely underperforming compared to the usual standards. 4v4 essentially with the numbers, but some downs and a torpedo definitely shifts it to Rebel's advantage here. Avexys will fall, DeTox as well will crumble by the wayside, and that's a complete team wipe again, as RushieZ is just blocking the capture for just a moment. But honestly, the score difference is actually quite huge now. For Rebel, they continue to dominate in those team fights. They continue to rotate pretty much earlier and get the power weapons, even if RushieZ are waiting for them for a long period of time. And I think right now it just comes down to flair in many ways. Rebel, they have the energy, they're finding the hard, difficult plays outside of your usual viewing here for us fans, and RushieZ, they aren't doing any of that. They need to get themselves into the game, and quickly if they're to try and win Reactor.
We can see a couple of players mounted up in front of them. RushieZ will go down. That'll make it 4v3 on the map, and now you might see Rebel actually go for an early rotation here, an early retake. Now 4v2 was a big back A, comes out from Kardia to win that fight as well. Pushing into the hill, it's going to be 3 players from Rebel. Pushing toward 1 player, INZEM of RushieZ. INZEM backing up, trying to drop a flash at his feet. Won't be able to get it off in time. They get just a few seconds on the hill before once again, it is Rebel overtaking and overwhelming the hill, getting ever closer to the 200-point threshold. That really puts you on the front foot and gives you all of the momentum to close out a round. 1 kill coming through for RushieZ. Now a secondary. New nades picked up by Kardia. Not sure if Kardia is going to be able to rotate those into the fight just yet. You see him trying to make his way across the map here, getting mounted up against by RushieZ. He's going to get a ton of damage and a ton of shots out, but will they be able to get the kill and get the nades away from him?
Yeah, that's the important factor, definitely. Kardia, great shot over the window. Rebel starting to lose players. Nice nade from Kardia, forces INZEM out, but no players really to use the Lancers to take advantage of that. Frag grenade to the side there. RushieZ finally getting some score on the board, but you can see Rebel's purpose straight away on the overhead map to the right, or the mini-map. In the corner, Monkyz pushing RushieZ straight away, barely any damage put his way. Monkyz was comfortable there, pushing the current, champion. Yeah, in Gears Esports along with the rest of their teammates. His teammates, they'll fall as well, and every time we switch camera, it just seems like a RushieZ player is being taken out, or they're downed. and Rebel have free reign and Reactor to get the best positioning for the next hills.
See what they can do here is they're in that original hill. P1 has respawned here. We've reset the hills. 200-point threshold has now been passed. And this will be just a matter of time where RushieZ is going to have to start getting desperate here in the next couple of goings. Xploidz, he's going to rotate back here inside of the hill, try to get to this little cubby corner. He's going to get seen from the left-hand side. DeTox is going to get flashed out. Xploidz trying to add damage back against him, not allow him to stay in that spot and go for the full damage. RushieZ goes in for the flank, but gets shut down by Mono. Now Mono tries to find a second shot, rotates quickly, gets a third as well inside, burns them all up. And that will give Rebel a definitive edge and basically closing out this map. 30 seconds left, gets them to 250, almost 260 if they were to bleed it dry. No reason not to. They will be just so very close to a 1-0 map lead over RushieZ.
Oh, it's so close. And it would be so well-deserved as well. Let's see if they can confirm it now. 100-point advantage, even more so now as we approach the 300 mark, and continued performances from Monkyz like that would certainly be exquisite here on this new Rebel roster. INZEM finally getting 2 kills now. Avexys 3 to 15. Still only 1 kill seemingly in the last 5 minutes of gameplay. Meanwhile, Monkyz continues to go off time and time again, finally taken down there on the corner. But you look at the minimap, RushieZ are nowhere near, essentially, in terms of how close they can be to push in for this next hill. They are a little bit better positioned than Rebel in many ways, though, as they're also split up. One player actually going all the way to the left there, you see on the screen. But Avexys with the torque bow.
Getting ready for the next fight. Here comes Avexys, torque bow in hand, hits the hip fire shot on 1. Plenty of time left to win it on this hill for Rebel. Avexys, torque bow again, hits another hip fire, gets that secondary one. Now has Xploidz right up in front of him, has to hit another shot, gets it to go. 3 up, 3 down for Avexys. Beautiful triple kill for him to take over the hill, but down 100 points now. They've got a long way to go. I mean, this is a big hill to climb if they want to be able to win this one. See what happens here. Mono with a big shot there, looking across. INZEM still inside the hill. Will just kind of settle his tea kettle here and allow most of these players from Rebel to rotate back toward the hill and help that his teammates get inside for the help. Here comes INZEM. Bounces back left, makes him miss the first, makes him miss the second, gets the help from the left. Here comes the cleanup from DeTox. DeTox makes it just in time for the save as well.
Absolutely. 20 seconds left on the hill. Rotations have to start immediately for both teams. And Avexys, nice little 1v victory there against Kardia. Look where RushieZ is, though. Right across the map now, ready for positioning for the next hill. Question is the secret man the option? That will just land her immediately, and yep, he knows from that position. Rebel have to turn around. DeTox going to get the stick on Crack as he tries to evacuate the area. And this should be a numbers situation that favors RushieZ. They should be able to make a play here, especially with 1 more stick from DeTox. Kardia might have other ideas with those nades right now. Huge opportunity for him.
He definitely wants to try to upset the balanced order here. There's going to go the kill, though. Kardia gets the kill on INZEM. Xploidz gets one onto RushieZ. DeTox trying to answer back with a torque bow of his own. Double bounce in, gets 3 shots on. Won't be able to get the 4th. Kardia, he'll get the flank onto him, get the kill. 30 seconds left for the victory. They're going to pressure out toward the next position, the next respawn of RushieZ, and try to force out their hand. They're going to force them to take even longer to get back into the next hill. Comes all 4 players from RushieZ. They're going to have a hard push across this back lane here to try to get inside of that next hill.
Has to be perfect.
Downs come through. No, there's no way. No way, no how. Less than 9 seconds to go. Rebel's going to take map 1 from the side of our defending champions, RushieZ, Toby, and that is an impressive map 1 to say the least.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What a performance that was from Rebel. Not sure if they were listening to the stream earlier, in our confidence with our predictions, but hey, perhaps things might change just a little bit for many fans in the chat now, that's for sure. 17-7 for Mono there in the end. Just look at the KD, 6-20, 6-16, 6-16. For 3 players out of RushieZ, INZEM seems to be performing quite well, actually winning a lot of fights, but not so the case actually for the remaining 3 there, and instead it was Rebel who were actually doing so well in those close quarter battles. Obviously the most aggressive team in many of those ways, and also finding the power weapons for the majority of that first half as well, and really setting the tone, I think, for how Reactor was to play out. Not sure what's going on right now with RushieZ, in all honesty. I strongly don't believe this is just Rebel playing well. Yes, they are. I'm not going to take anything from them, but RushieZ don't seem like themselves, Colin. I mean, does that kind of resonate with you as well, or?
It does. I said it kind of during the middle of the map, and I would like to point it out again. There were so many times in that map that during the major, RushieZ played so close-knitly together, whether they had a Lancer or a Snub or Nasher, they were only about 3 to 5 feet away from each other. In this map alone, there's one person pressuring up before anybody could get in the area to help him. DeTox spread between two. The third player so late to the fight. It just seemed like RushieZ was just so spread out across the map every single time they engaged in a good team fight.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think teamwork was on point for Rebel, and definitely better. Individually, goes without saying. The stats speak for themselves. Avexys there. I mean, a misroll, definitely. In front of 2 players there. Not his usual self. INZEM, though, he did have plenty of good moments. We didn't see him often on the camera, right, Colin? But when we did, he seemed to be doing extremely well, actually. Avexys, great composure here in this highlight in particular, but it was short-lived, it seems like, for many of these RushieZ players, as they picked up kills here and there. It was Rebel definitely doing the majority of the domination, and this was the final conclusion. The shock was on perfect. RushieZ were all together, ready to chain revive, but being caught out very easily, right? Just fish in a barrel, getting shot away like their opponent is just much too good for them, and they simply can't find an answer to get themselves into the game. And remember, Colin, we have to mention this as the points and the maps are ahead of us right now. It's the fact that Rebel actually picked Clocktower. We're going to their map next. RushieZ were the team that picked a Reactor, and they looked lost on the map compared to Rebel.
But I think execution's a pretty good way to if you're lost on control, you can use execution to kind of find yourself. You can use execution as a way to settle back in, because a lot of times it comes into man-on-man defense. You're just gonna have to find your person, find who's mirroring you on the map, and just try to take advantage of any mistakes they may incur upon themselves. Especially on Clocktower, because you know, Rebel, they no longer have the deadliest or the most explosive sniper in the game, Identis, but they still got Xploidz, probably one of the most consistent snipers in our history. So this is going to be an interesting turn of events. Is Rebel going to be going up 2-0 over the reigning champions RushieZ? Will RushieZ begin to their comeback right here, right now, and tie it up 1-1? That's going to be the interesting thing to me. Are they woken up now? Is that map won enough to let them basically readjust, reevaluate what it is that's happening in front of them?
Well, using the kind of narratives that we were discussing before the first map, actually, they're a very close-knit team. There's lots of passion. There's lots of trust in each other, that's for sure. And I hope that kind of resonates with them now, especially in between these 2 maps. They realize they perhaps need to shake themselves a little bit. They need to realize what kind of situation they're in right now. That is the first Pro League performance on broadcast. They just lost to Rebel, which is definitely more of a middle of the pack team, I want to say, Colin, right? And so it's definitely something for them to consider now going into map number 2.
Well, let's take a look here. We have to go into our side station matchup because eUnited and Fury went all the way to a map 5. Fury won, knotted it up, took the lead 2-1. eUnited's had to win back-to-back maps to try to get a win over Fury 1. We're in map 5. eUnited is up 4-2 as well. 3v1, Jalid up top at the fragmentation grenade spawn, looking for somebody to try to pick on. He's going to get called out by Demise, and they now know where he is. So we are probably staring down the barrel of a 5-2 situation.
I think you're right about that. Power's going for those trick shots, if you will, in many ways, trying to blind fire ahead. And the closing moments of that round. 5-2 the score. It looks like eUnited are perhaps going to take this one, Colin, after what has been quite a difficult series, by all sounds of it. And surprising, honestly, that eUnited are kind of going through a similar experience as KCP did yesterday, but they are recovering, it seems, on this final map. Execution, what a way to do it. Powers, I'm sure, will be eager to get his hands on this map.
Yeah, gonna have to find a way to just get one more round on the board to complete the comeback. They had to wake up for 2 more maps. It's gonna be Toady, get the torque bow in hand. He's gonna be full red. He's gonna drop a torque at his feet. Demise is gonna run right into the splash damage. Now we see Powers going on the flank, gets the back A for the down on 1. Here comes the secondary down. Double shot in, TJ over the top. Demise here to help him. That's 3 down, that's 3 dead at the bottom side of the map. That will be it, 6-2. eUnited, they went back-to-back maps 4 and 5 to ensure the 3-2 map lead victory over the side of Fury 1.
Taking a look at the scoreboard briefly. 2-6, 2-6, 2-6. Not too great for those bottom 3 players for Fury, but it has to be mentioned. They took eUnited that far in the first place, Colin. So fantastic showing from Fury 1. You know, I hope they don't get too down on themselves after the conclusion of how that went in the end. But definitely a really good team. Fury 1 is safe to say after such a time yesterday on broadcast. They were really good to watch and definitely against eUnited there on the side station.
eUnited with back-to-back wins now. They're going to start the Pro League off 2-0. RushieZ looking to do the same thing. Rebel looking to do the same thing. Rebel one step closer as they are up 1-0 over RushieZ. RushieZ in map number 1 playing uncharacteristically of themselves, not wolfpacking, not helping one another out with a Lancer or a snub. Rebel taking what was given to them and executing their game plan picture perfectly. Kardia, is he playing the big boy right now? Is my man playing Rom Shadows a toy soldier out here?
Oh, I think he might be.
Oh, yeah.
I think he might be. Avexys finds 1 kill, quickly finds his head on the floor, though. 3v2 situation. RushieZ again going for those frag grenades is very common, actually, we see from that individual. 3v2 and Xploidz almost finding a blind fire. It seems like against DeTox, who's flying at his opponents right now. Got the pinch from behind, careful not to get taken down himself. 3v2 and Xploidz still trying to keep that distance up, Colin, so we can find just 1 more headshot to even up the numbers.
Xploidz backing up, backtracking toward the fragmentation spawn. Now trying to get to the other set of big stairs. Gets there just in time. Is full red. Will take his position here at the bottom side of the steps. This is round 1. We know that taking over the back side of the car is all important. RushieZ now with a 3v2 advantage. RushieZ waiting up top. Tries to get a shot on Xploidz. Xploidz is going to pressure out toward him. Shot over the top. Will get some pellets there. Won't be able to get the down. Both players settling in now for just a moment. Looking like they're going to send DeTox on a flank. And again, DeTox is actually going to rotate out once again, trying to keep himself safe. Going to possibly pressure out toward this pillar. Down comes through on Kardia. DeTox gets the finish, ensuring the 3v1 or the 2v1, no matter what happens to him. And that will be the first round over to RushieZ.
Good job, though. I have to give some props there to Rebel. They survived for a very long time. Much of that, admittedly, is due to the snipe and Xploidz being threatening with it. But yeah, really good opportunities created for him by their positioning to line up some headshots potentially, and almost finding the 2v1 in the end there. But DeTox holding on strong in what was a 1v1 there for at least, I want to say, 3 to 5 seconds. You know, short period of time, but a very important time of that. RushieZ, good job in the first round.
Round 2 starting off here. RushieZ quick pick onto the fragmentation grenade. Rebel might go for the quick pick here onto the long shot. They throw out the smokes. They get into the hands of Xploidz. RushieZ pushes up for the revive. Kardia will get down. He's going to get picked up very quickly. First nade comes out. Doesn't get anybody. Second nade comes out. Doesn't get anybody either. RushieZ 2 nades in, 2 nades out. No kills to come through, but they get the down with the Lancer. Now they're going to get the cleanups. They're going to be answering back with a long shot attempt here by Xploidz. He's going to get this first shot onto RushieZ as well. 2v2 on the map right now. Xploidz, Kardia, Avexys, INZEM. Headshot onto Avexys. INZEM in a 2v1 now. Gets the down on the sniper. Bouncing in. Oh my God, INZEM. What are you made of? It's got to be concrete. My man hard as an absolute boulder in that situation. Standing tall, standing strong. Ice in the veins. Cooler than the other side of the pillow. Cooler than Billy D. Williams. My man was Lando Calrissian. My God, that was incredible.
That was Xploidz almost clutching up in a big way for his team, but it was actually INZEM the star of the show in the end. Brilliant movement there to close the gap and find that 2v1 essentially in the end. Well played indeed, but Rebel, they keep getting the snipe, Colin. DeTox trying to stop that in his tracks right now. He's pushed all in on his own, not able to find enough damage to stop them, and once more, Rebel just get away with the snipe quite freely, and it seems like RushieZ are happy to sacrifice RushieZ positioning down bottom for the nades instead, but they are winning so far 2-0, but Xploidz really threatening, that's for sure. 4v3 situation. RushieZ are all here. Xploidz is getting a kill of his own. 3v2 in favor of RushieZ. 2v2. DeTox just saving the day with a lovely flank there on Xploidz. And Mono is going to get lasered down very quickly. But yeah, very briefly, it has to be said, Colin, it's concerning Xploidz getting the snipe this many times, because yesterday on broadcast he was incredible with that weapon on this particular map. And Rebel right now, strategically, I prefer that what they're doing with snipe rather than RushieZ getting the nades, regardless of the final outcomes of the round.
I mean, my man, are we just trading off map picks right here? Rebel wins Reactor, which RushieZ picked. Now RushieZ is up 3-0 on Clocktower, which Rebel picked. Is that what we're going to do here? Is that they just trading back and forth? Early damage out onto Xploidz before he gets into the long shot area. First frag comes out. We'll find the pick onto him as well. 4v3 on the map officially.
And that absolutely makes him look like a much more practiced set piece, if you will, from RushieZ. That frag grenade there. Oh, hello, Mono in the flank. Lovely Gibbs, 3v3. He is spotted, but can he get away in time? He's gone as fast as he can away from the RushieZ shotguns, but not able to get out there. Unfortunately for him, 3v2, snipe in hand, crack on his own. Fantastic movement, but sadly, he will not live to tell the tale for long. 4-0 to RushieZ now, and yeah, that frag grenade strat definitely worked that round. You know, just as I was criticizing their choice, if you will, of frag over snipe, but perhaps it's something they've been practicing hard and really been focusing on actually getting the specifics dialed down, the timings and whatnot. That round at least showed that to be the case.
Coming in here, 4-0 up for the side of RushieZ, needing 2 more to get the win and to make it 1-1 officially in the matchup. Going out of spawn, let's see if they can go for the fragmentations yet again, or if they're going to finally start challenging down there to make sure that RushieZ doesn't get them for free. RushieZ bottom side will have a little bit of help, but he will be tagged up very heavily. They're going to push down to the bottom side. Mono and a teammate as well. First nade comes out, doesn't find anybody. They're pressuring out here toward the middle of the map. They get the first kill yet again. It's 4v3 on the map again, Toby, and they have had a numbers advantage damn near every round.
They have. RushieZ played that so amazingly well. And now all RushieZ need to do is find, I was about to say, use the numbers advantage to get the round. And might actually be able to do just that. RushieZ across the map nades once more, 3v2. Mono getting taken down by the very man as RushieZ starts to enter the series in a big way. 5-0 in terms of the scoreline now for RushieZ. And it was actually Rebel that changed up their strategy to respond to their opponent there, sending 2 players down bottom. And RushieZ, he didn't mind. He had a little bit of support from behind in the form of a Lancer from a teammate, and immediately went past the pillar into nades to get some cover advantage there and kind of secure himself from many of the angles on Clocktower. So well played, RushieZ. Great response to how Rebel were trying to react to RushieZ's strategy. Now they just need 1 more round.
1 round to make it 1-1. We are out of spawn, and this one top fight is broken out. Flash grenades go everywhere. Rebel's going to try to overload the back pillar area. RushieZ has the fragmentation grenades in his hand. One of them goes off and cracks feet, gets the kill. Now a secondary and a tertiary kill come through. 1 player left alive. It's Xploidz. He's down. He's out. Toby Campbell, clean sweep of Rebel, 6-0 here in map 2.
Brilliant series. Fantastic so far. RushieZ get the first map on the board for them. And what an impressive clock tower that was for them strategically, wasn't it? Really, really cool to see. Crack 0-6. Not too great to see from him in particular, as we love the aggression usually. What a fantastic map number 2 that was. Join us after the break for map number 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, I asked Toby Campbell to bring us back in. My man froze up like a deer in the headlights on a warm spring day, boy. I said, bring us on back. Let them know that we back at it, boy. And now we got a 1-1 series between RushieZ and Rebel going into Escalation map 3. Toby, give me your thoughts. I know you're deep in thought. You probably just heard me speaking nonsense. You said it's just Colin being Colin. He just speaking nonsense out here.
Honestly, I was reading Twitch chat busy and I was trying to work out what you said. And then you say it, I'm like, right, oh, right, okay, interesting.
Okay.
No, there you go. We're watching some interesting highlights right now. It seems like RushieZ time and time again getting those nades, throwing them towards the back pillar to catch the players out on rotation from the very snipe. And, you know, we were talking about it during the break. It's confusing, actually, the level of commitment that RushieZ had to that nade strategy. Yes, it was working every round, so it kind of makes sense that they stuck to it, but for it to work 6 rounds in a row against one of the best snipers in the game, who constantly was getting the snipe and had fantastic success yesterday on broadcast with that exact same strat as the team, it's surprising to me. And I'm, you know, considering now if many teams will have their notebooks out and coaches will be like, whoa, this has changed things up. This might be a genuine strategy to get very good at, to the point where RushieZ clearly have been practicing it. And you're really dialed in on the specifics and the timings and things, where you start to employ it in like very serious games against some of the best snipers in the game, not only Xploidz and Rebel, but also teams like KCP, who are also amazing at that up top all-in on the snipe.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily take some notes on this and start to try to put a little bit of that in your own playbook to try to overwhelm RushieZ at the fragmentation and not go for that just pure smoke battle at the long shot. But now Rebel has to refocus here. They probably are questioning a little bit. We got exactly what we wanted in map 2 and it didn't come to fruition. We got what we probably didn't expect, which is just head downs from RushieZ in map 1, and we took advantage of it. So going into Escalation, how do you necessarily have a good comeback here? What is the answer for Rebel? What do you lean into? Is it the teamwork? Is it the Wolfpack from map 1?
Yeah, it's simple. Lean into map 1. Absolutely forget about map number 2. Xploidz had some cool moments, honestly, some almost a clutch moment, in many ways with some of the headshots he had, which INZEM, of course, ended up kind of thwarting in the end. But outside of that, it was kind of not really there for Rebel, was it? They tried different strategies, nothing worked. So essentially, forget about Clocktower. You did your best. You need to move on. You were outplayed, but you were really, really good at map number 1, Rebel. So I would definitely rest on that. Be confident in your ability to shotgun. Monkyz was going off. Crack was going off that that map. The rotations were working for the team. They made RushieZ look like they were lost on the map, to be frank. Unpracticed, like the map had just entered the competitive pool. For goodness sake. And so with that in mind, Rebel, keep that up, refer back to that for your confidence and be self-assured that you can beat these RushieZ members in those close quarter battles. Don't think that Clocktower changes anything at this point.
All right, we'll see if that comes to fruition on Escalation. You were at the midpoint of your little soliloquy there, and you said, to be frank, and I said, don't be anybody but you, baby. You're too handsome, you're too smart, you're too good. Don't be anybody but Toby, okay? Frank might sound like a nice guy, but I prefer the one and the only unique Toby Campbell. Coming into Vasgar, one of our more unique maps here in Gears 5. It is the horse track at times. It is also a pretty defensive map at other times. You get that 2-to-1, you just try to rotate back and forth. You play a little swing defense and not give up any ground to your opponent. We know it's the fan favorite of some people in Twitch chat. We also know that the voice of God probably never wants to see Vasgar, but because he probably never wants to see Foundation again. He's only seen it 462 billion times.
A very fair assessment on all accounts. Yeah, I liked Foundation, Colin. Well, I really liked that map, I will say, from Gears 4. But Vasgar is a very popular map, definitely, for many of the professional teams in Gears esports, and has been for a while. RushieZ extremely good on this map. I said it earlier. Statistically, the best team on Vasgar, I'm pretty sure, in the last split of Pro League. So they definitely turned over a new leaf on this one. And here we see them again. Back to respawn. Rebel really good on respawn earlier. Let's see if they can do it once more.
Right here, Xploidz inside of that C hill. 2-to-1 cap getting ready to be insinuated by Rebel, but now Rebel has a 2v1 here. Xploidz is going to get shot on from behind, and INZEM just playing back, playing away from Xploidz. Going to get the down onto him. Meanwhile, at Rebel's home, RushieZ is trying his hand with a teammate at least. That was going to be DeTox. They were trying to 2v the world. Now it'll be 2v1 here, going toward that home hill of RushieZ. Avexys will have to back up. Will he get pressured out into this next position? Escalation comes out at the home hill. 3 players in the area. DeTox slides into the cover, gets one over the top. Now looks for the 90-degree. Tries to get another. Crack is going to go down. 2 players in, 2 players out. RushieZ has a 3v2, now 4v2 advantage on the map. DeTox tagged up pretty heavily there, and Mono actually has to sit down because of the gefilte fish. You can see RushieZ trying to change positions here with DeTox, but not going to help at all. The respawn is there just in the nick of time.
Also, just in the nick of time there from Monkyz was Rody strafing essentially backwards to get out of gib range, just as the second player for RushieZ pushed there. That was so nice from Monkyz. Quickly revived is he. Downed immediately thereafter as DeTox still putting out shots. And Avexys, though, will just about stay alive with his teammate. A little bit of a respawn coming in from INZEM, and we see, or rather not INZEM, a little bit of a cross, I should say, from across the way. Close score, Colin, between these two now as we go back and forth in a simple war of attrition in this first round of Vasgar.
Waiting to have the first team make a mistake here in this round number 1. RushieZ getting tagged up pretty heavily behind that cubby. You can see Xploidz up top just trying to add in the damage, looking for other players. Xploidz backing up toward the luggage. This is going to be a big kill here. 1 kill goes down. INZEM has to win maybe another 1v1 here. Try to continue to hold the B hill in his court and favor. It'll be the 1v1 against Kardia. Tagged up pretty heavily, both players. Rotate back. INZEM pushes forward, gets the shot for the down. Triple cap domination ensues, and RushieZ! They slip round 1 away from Rebel at the very final moment.
Enjoyed that last 1v as well at the end there, Colin. INZEM, that was just... it was like reading a book, right? Just watching him play there, keeping Kardia at bay, but also not getting so close that he could risk actually losing that fight. Being close enough and going wide enough to make sure that Kardia, if he even dares to roll back into that hill to prevent it from being triple capped, well, we saw the outcome, immediately downed and taken out, and no threat to INZEM in the process. Well played indeed. And not too complex weapon placements coming through. And I'm sure we'll see some more retros, as we were discussing earlier in the previous series, come to this one, as both teams seem quite confident in recent times in this map.
And RushieZ is ever lurking with that retro. My man is always on the prowl and always on the lookout for a possible retro charge to see if he can get one off in this round. Or next round, excuse me, as DeTox will get built up in this first one. We'll get retros the next round, most likely. This time, we're going to have a 3v3 over here. 2 downs immediately for Rebel, and they're going to have to go for these quick pickups, these quick cleanups here, just to try to skedaddle away, but RushieZ is not giving them any room to breathe. 2 players left alive. They might go for a quick triple cap domination, which they are indeed. RushieZ is on that mid-neutral hill. 1 player challenging him. That's going to be Crack. Crack gets the victory as well, so that will ensure the round is delayed for just a moment.
That will be the case. Crack quickly moving off from the B hill, though. And sets his target across the way to DeTox. A little bit of shots actually might open things up for his teammates to push in towards that C side. Xploidz just waiting, stacking up for an opportunity now to make a play back into this. The 2 cap for RushieZ is good. They're perfectly happy in the situation. You know, RushieZ pulling back away from that 1v potentially arising soon in front of them. But look at this. RushieZ actually being quite a bit more aggressive on this side. Hunting down Xploidz. He's quickly revived by Kardia.
I mean, if you keep him off the back foot, you don't let him get reset to try to go for another retake, it's going to be that much harder to win rounds. Here we go, pushing in. DeTox is going to get 1 down. DeTox is going to get the 2nd down here. 3 players from RushieZ moving across the B hill. They get 1 kill there. They know that they're going to come off of respawn and be able to challenge up the A hill. Mono is going to back off here. Boltok in hand. 6 shots left in the chamber of that Boltok. Going to try to get shots onto anybody here and has not been able to get a real good sight line on anyone as well. B hill only has 1 defender, and C may necessarily be a 3v3 in just a few moments.
Oh, look at this. Rebel quickly changing that in the heartbeat. They want to fly up the staircase, find the shotgun kills. Oh no. Speaking of shotgun kills, Avexys just blows RushieZ away, leaving a simple 2v1 for Rebel now on towards this A hill. They will regroup with Xploidz. RushieZ do have about a 100-point lead here, Colin, so they have time to work with, that's for sure. And they certainly will look to win off points more than likely in this round, because they can simply win by even 1 hill at this point early on in the round. RushieZ and Avexys straight off spawn, looking to regain control here on the C hill. Of course, they don't want to rest the laurels on just 1 hill for the remainder of the round. They want to find more than that and put it concretely in place, this round victory.
You see them bouncing around. INZEM's going to go to the top side of that second half home hill. Triple cap domination is going to be threatened for just a moment. 1 player will step inside here, but not necessarily going to mean anything. Beautiful kill there by RushieZ, continuing to stat pad, but another round goes in favor of RushieZ. 2-0 up here in map 3. The best they can do, though, is just finish this one off and go up 2-1 in maps and try to go to map 4 and finish it out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at this point in time, RushieZ just looking so good on this map. Rebel not really finding much in the way of success. I do like this, though. I do like it, Colin, when teams hover over tank with a potential power weapon. It will be the snipe down. Why am I not surprised? I mean, Xploidz just kept getting that on Clocktower. He's probably saying, you know what, I want more of that. I know we didn't win Clocktower, guys, but I kind of like this weapon. And,
There's a chance.
kind of good is he with that weapon, it's safe to say.
He's going to be feeling great about his opportunities. Let's see what goes here. Xploidz is going to throw out that flash. He's going to play the backside of the tank here. There's going to be a shot on around the left-hand side. Won't be able to get that first one to go. Now Xploidz, other side of the tank, continuing to add in L-trigger damage, left, right, and center. Helps get it down, and then helps get a kill. So traded up right now, 3v3 on the map momentarily. Avexys is going to get up-aid by Xploidz. He gets the knife and gets the down as well on the melee. 3v2 over here, and Rebel will win this long shot fight at the tank.
All right, much better. Absolutely much better so far. That weapon placement has worked out super well. Xploidz, the man himself, has got the snipe in his hands. And RushieZ will have to come off respawn and really consider their positions as they travel across the red sands of Vasgar. Careful not to reveal a potential headshot for Xploidz to find. Crack just to his left, holding strong on that side. Xploidz just using the midline here currently to find an angle. Quickly gets the call out from his teammate though to his left. Nice check on DeTox. That will slow them down for now. RushieZ certainly need to find a hill from somewhere.
Flash is going to come flying out. Attempted shot by Xploidz is going to be missed. Crack to the backside of the tank. Rolls to the forward side. Xploidz holding the 90-degree angle. Won't be able to find that one either. Goes to the reload. Crack trying to go for a little roadie strafe right into the face of one player. Will get taken down. And now a secondary player goes down. That's going to be Xploidz. Long shot cleaned off the map. And Toby, I mean, in the blink of an eye, before you even knew what was happening, 3-0 triple cap domination ensued by RushieZ.
That's got to hurt, Colin. It's got to hurt. You know, that the majority of that round we were kind of praising them, I guess, Rebels' performance and turning things around, but just as quickly as it happened, things changed in a heartbeat, didn't they? Losing the snipe, losing the hills, the triple cap comes in, and now 3 rounds in a row for RushieZ. My goodness me. And RushieZ, I'm sure, weapon placement-wise, won't change too much, and I'd expect Rebel to really stick to this placement now, this strategy, this all-in with the snipe after some really good death ball moments, you know, as we said on Reactor. Some really good aggression as a team. They can really make sure they dial this in now into this initial and absolutely not allow RushieZ to pull away another round from under their feet again.
Coming into this next round, RushieZ has been pretty particularly aggressive after the first set of slays, or the first kill really on a round. Coming into round 4, last round of the first half. DeTox will take to the backside of the tank early in this one, looking for the early advantage. Waiting for his teammate to possibly throw a flash with him. Won't be able to find anything just yet. Xploidz.
Ooh.
Needing to try to have the answer back, but I mean, all red, all day. Is this going to be a 4th triple cap domination in a row for RushieZ?
It is. My oh my. 29 seconds that took, Colin. And INZEM right at the helm there, on the left of the tank, just finding 2 so easily. Difficult times for Rebel. Difficult indeed for Kardia. 1 to 10 right now after 4 rounds. He's not been having his way in those specific team fights we allude to. But now, halftime, maybe, just maybe, things can change up once more for Rebel, but 5 rounds against RushieZ on Escalation Vasgar, and that's almost impossible for any team, you want to say, Colin.
Tough sledding nonetheless. It's going to be hard sledding for anybody to come back against RushieZ 5 rounds in a row. And shot on just in a moment. INZEM bouncing in. Flash goes out. He gets that first shot off, but now he rotates back, trying to stay out of harm's way here. It's going to be INZEM backing up even further. Incendiary out. Second one. There's the other Incin from RushieZ coming out. We'll get the down. They're going to get a couple of kills here. 3 down. Now 2 down, excuse me, as Mono will get revive onto Kardia. And now another couple of sets of downs come through. This could be yet another triple cap domination situation if they can't get away with it.
I know. Avexys with the snipe. Absolutely a very good player with the weapon himself, just like Xploidz. Will he need to use it, though, in this round? 2 seconds. The domination did jump on our screen once, and it's going to happen again. Only... Oh, actually, Kardia is there as well. Monkyz 2. DeTox on the flank, though, could really spell the end here for Rebel in this matchup. Monkyz still alive, though, and he finds a double, and Crack finds a kill himself. RushieZ going to fall. 4 down now for RushieZ.
4 down for RushieZ. Mono gets over to the D hill as quickly as humanly possible, trying to get that cap to be at least D-cap momentarily. RushieZ still has the mid-neutral. They are going to get their home back here momentarily, and they're going to probably pressure out toward Crack and I believe Mono here. Mono goes down. Crack is going to try to rotate up, but he's going to get called out. He's going to get taken down, and 2 dead for Rebel very quickly, and now Rebel's going to find themselves yet again down 2-0, 2-1 in hill count, and will continue their point lead.
RushieZ picking on the ball up, yeah. 2 shots immediately, slowing down Xploidz there on that corner. Kardia down as well. Is this an opportunity now for RushieZ to test a push? Avexys certainly thinks so, but shut down immediately. Xploidz, fantastic movement. RushieZ stuck in the corner. Quick revive as well. RushieZ isn't done. Not able to find that last give to conclude that team fight. 30 seconds left for 2 hills. Victory for RushieZ, and they're still finding the kills just outside that spawn of Rebel. So keep that in mind as RushieZ do stagger Avexys straight away back into the fire himself.
Shots on early in this one. Avexys looking for that angle right there, that little cubby corner angle, but he's going to get up-bait out by RushieZ. Now the pickup from DeTox on another player at the F hill. Only hill left to be contested over is going to be that E hill. Mono's trying to get over there to maybe play some defense early in this. DeTox tries to bait out the up A, won't be able to get that. They're going to get the down, they're going to get the finish as well, and it won't matter. RushieZ knows this round is over. Long execution on the Mono, and this will be a 5-0. They go from 6 rounds in a row to 5 rounds in a row, and they have won 2 maps in a row. 1 map away from beating Rebel here in Gears Pro League on night number 2.
Absolutely. Perhaps a slow start for RushieZ in this matchup, in match number 1 on Reactor. Kind of warming up, maybe. Maybe they've gone a little bit too late for their first Pro League match on broadcast. Who knows? But they certainly seem like a different team. Like their usual selves, you might say, from map number 2. Map number 3 was certainly no exception to that rule. 3-0, Colin? Or rather 5-0 in that series as we get done with the 3rd map. Really cool stuff to see for RushieZ, especially if you're a RushieZ fan.
It's a beautiful set of circumstances for them indeed. But Toby, I mean, for Rebel, this has not gone well since that map 1. I know a lot of people always like to, you know, chitter-chatter about how when Rebel wins, we talk about how bad the other team played, and when they lose, we talk about how good they didn't play. So, I mean, I'm taking a look at this, and I'm saying, hey, I called out that RushieZ played uncharacteristically, not necessarily bad in map 1, uncharacteristically separated, differentiating positions when they push back into a retake where one player is going to go in, 3 seconds later the next, 3 seconds later the one after that. I'm going to call that out every time I see it. If you're not playing like the team that I just watched, witness, and see win a major, I want to see that change. And for 2 maps in a row now, they have played so much better. INZEM, though, I mean, hasn't slowed down. Even in map 1, INZEM was playing great. He has been, I hate to say it, I know Avexys is the heart and the soul of this team. INZEM is like the fists of this team. If you're going to be in a fight with RushieZ, you're going to have to deal with INZEM. You're going to have to deal with the fists of this team because he's going to bring it to you each and every time.
Yeah, I love that analogy. Especially INZEM, based on his performance in the major. He certainly is the front man oftentimes and the icebreaker in those awfully difficult situations. And the difference maker in the tough, very close team fights, for sure. Especially was a huge impact there on the tank as we see the highlights come through. And Monkyz, great movement. Not as good as DeTox is right there. And RushieZ, generally speaking, were a lot better than Rebel on the last 2 maps, it's safe to say. 6-0, 5-0. 11 rounds in a row, Colin, has to be said. You know, 2 modes, 11 rounds. It makes map number 1 seem like a distant memory, almost like a different team are now playing against Rebel, and it definitely feels like that way going into Regency control.
Yeah, it does not look like the same team that we saw in map number 1, but now they got to go back to control. They got to feel a little bit confident about that. They said, look, we win that map 1, we win that first control, we can probably go into this map 4, find a victory here as well, maybe try to send it to that map 5, that next execution. It's going to be tough sledding. RushieZ has definitely picked their game up. They have really started to just, boulder roll at this position and at this point in time. So I don't expect really to see them slow down at all. I expect to see much of the same. The way that they've gone 6 rounds, then 5 rounds, just I really do not see any change in what we're about to witness out of RushieZ in this map number 4. They have played too well for probably 20 or 30 straight minutes now.
Yeah, Yeah, it's been a long time. We also had a little bit of a pause as well during the break, right? Between map 2 and map 3. Again, that didn't really change things for Rebel, it seems like. You know, their team talk wasn't as productive perhaps as RushieZ's team talk after map number 1. And it's a concerning time now for Rebel. You know, was Clocktower just a fluke? Clearly not. Vasgar definitely made that concrete in everyone's estimation here, in both the players and also the viewers and us commentators. And I do wonder now, we go into a second respawn, or rather a third respawn map, if you will, for this series, but second for control. Can Rebel kind of get back to that form that we saw on Reactor? You know, Regency is one of the more larger size control maps, at least. So there's some similarity there, right? Setups are crucial in Regency, just as they are for Reactor, and Rebel were really good at rotating early. And also giving the respect to RushieZ and not pushing some, you know, very difficult hills to push when there's a good 20 to 30 seconds left on those. So I'm hoping that Rebel can turn that around now and kind of stick to their guns with the motor control and find some of those strengths now in Regency.
A little deep exhale for Rebel is what's needed. I mean, the thing that gives me so much cause to pause is when Regency was first added to the cycle and we first brought out, you know, control really as our showcase game mode, getting 2 plays every series, just about guaranteed if you can win one of those first 3 maps. RushieZ were the kings of this map. They were almost untouchable. And it's not like they've necessarily gotten bad at the map. A lot of teams have caught up to them, and we see a lot more fights break out. We see a lot more, you know, competition coming on this map. But it's also probably the most popular map nowadays in general on control. Everybody loves it. It's big, bright, got a lot of crossing lanes, got a lot of little angles that you can get good shotgun battles into, good little bouncing, good little rotation showcases for everybody to feast upon. So that's the big interesting point to me as we come here to Regency, where RushieZ once dominated. Teams have had a chance to catch up now. Are we going to see a RushieZ of old that just continues on their merry way here on this map, or is Rebel going to find that answer? I think really it starts off with that initial fight. If RushieZ gives up the M-bar, if they go straight for the Rose Garden, they get positioning early, and then they necessarily can't they can get rotated over toward P2, that's not good looking right there. That's not what you want. I think Rebel has to try to not force the power weapons with so much and try to get some of those early team fight victories in their favor.
Yeah, I think it's as much about psychology and confidence now for Rebel. At least, you know, go to show to yourselves, to RushieZ, to the viewers, to the commentators that you still have it in you and you're still gunning. You still got Crack running across the map at seemingly 100 miles an hour, just hunting for his next target like a predator, you know, going around. And Regency, you can do that. It's a little bit more difficult, you know, given the setup nature that we're talking about and the size of the map and the scale. But the initial certainly isn't too different to other maps, is it, Colin? So if they can just get up close and personal, get to that cover first, you know, don't be too skittish in terms of choosing your battles. Just get straight in there, get a team fight victory under your belt, and then go forward and look towards the M-bar, look towards the rotations. Start off strong and in a way that you mean to go on for the rest of the map, and kind of continue that death ball, that aggressive approach that they're known for, because they certainly can do it. They did it on the first map of control in the series, and they can do it again.
While we wait for a few players to load up, I would like to try to note, if you take a look back, if you think back to those replay packages that we get to see at the end of every map, beautiful job done by our program directors over there at UMG, putting those highlight reel packages together, is getting everything together so we can kind of get a nice little buffet of best plays from each and every map. After map 1, where we saw RushieZ so very split apart, think about how many times in those other highlight reel packages, RushieZ has kind of 2 or 3 players together. Yes, we saw a couple of 1v1 wins. I think it was INZEM had one, Avexys had one, but maps 2 and 3, you got to see just how close-knit RushieZ was. It was like they got woken up because Rebel wolfpacked so hard. So RushieZ said, look, we're going to have to wolfpack ourselves. We don't have an option. If we go win 1v3, we're always going to come out on the worst end of it. And I think that's one of the things that people could take away is if they just go back, they don't even have to watch the whole match. They can just go back and watch the highlight reel package. It'll definitely give you a little bit of a tail of the tape.
Yeah, I think so. And it's not only that kind of mentality in terms of aggression and confidence, it's also just keeping your head screwed on as well, too. And I think Clocktower is a great example of that, because RushieZ just simply were like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be aggressive at times. Maybe we should just rely on our lancers and also RushieZ and our practice, our ability to out-strategize to counter what is clearly an informed opponent right now in the form of Rebel. you know, playing above and beyond how they usually do based on map number 1. So credit to RushieZ. You know, their mentality's there. The brains are working hard behind the scenes. And clearly the practice has been set in motion between the Major and their first match on broadcast here for the split today. Regency could be a very good map for them. But also, Rebel, based on map number 1 on Control, could also be very good for them too. Can't wait to see how this initial plays out, Colin.
Well, the initial on Regency, always pretty interesting to see how teams want to take it, as you can always get a good look at what teams want to do if they're going to play over the M-bar, but it looks like both teams are going to play down toward that initial hill point at the bottom side of the map. Shots on early. DeTox trying to get through the very middle of the Rose Garden. Helps get one down, gets the clean up, gets the shot on from behind. Here comes the revive attempt. Will get the revive off, but won't be able to get any extra helping shots here. RushieZ just trying to get a two-piece and a biscuit here by himself, but he's going to get angled out by an L angle. He's going to need some help to rotate in. RushieZ gets one. The help is there from INZEM as well. Rebel, they take the initial fight. They're going to take the early aggression toward the Rose Garden, try not to give up but so many points over to the side of RushieZ. And there's the shock out to stop him from coming straight down the hallway.
Lovely. Lovely from RushieZ. Absolutely. As they also get the M-bar during that entire fiesta in front of us. They were doing so well. Everything was min-maxed to the absolute level there with DeTox as well, getting a knife. I was wondering where that sound effect came from. Nice job from him. And again, another kill. Third kill. And we're barely through the first hill, Colin, and he has an M-bar on his back. RushieZ doing really well. And in particular, DeTox on our screen now seems to be coming into his own a little.
What they got to do is if DeTox can continue to ride this wave, ride this high, beautiful kill there, at least to answer back for one kill onto Avexys, but they're able to rotate back to the right side of this hill, get settled into that respawn. About 20 seconds before it'll actually pop. Rebel has done a good job of, you know, keeping this one close. 24-21, only a 3-point differential as of right now. RushieZ will try to go and play some defense inside of the hill. He's going to get shot on first. He talks with a teammate, rotate up toward the hill, and they're going to go for the retake here before those two players from the bottom can rotate necessarily straight into this position.
Good shots from RushieZ there to open the door for a push. Nice body check as well. Not going to find the kill he was necessarily looking for. All it takes is one shot. In fact, one back A will do it as well. Crack and Monkyz, though, going well off screen are their fights as they sweep this entire spawn. Avexys the last man. The short spawn as well. Kardia right behind. Avexys will fall. And Rebel take the score lead, of course, in Regency. And continue on their aggression, seems like. Kardia's looking for this shot grenade, but he's been caught out here, Colin. Oh, good shots, though. Can he keep it up? Yes, he can. Finds INZEM and RushieZ. My little bit of support from the right, just as I thought it was all done and dusted. He will stay alive, and most importantly, will keep that short spawn locked in for this hill.
Now we see Kardia bottom side of the hill. They're going to have a decent amount of time here. Crack at the over top of the T-table, trying to stop them from getting the new M-bar. He's going to get taken down. 25 seconds left on this hill. Unsure if RushieZ is going to pressure out. No, RushieZ is going to rotate over early to this next hill spawn, bottom left-hand side of your mini-map. See what INZEM's going to do. INZEM's going to try to get a little flank here. Tries to slow up and try to hit a big body shot onto Kardia. Won't be able to hit the first one, won't hit the second one. Goes to the up A, gets taken down, and now Avexys rotates him up into the middle of the map to look for some help. He's going to get angled out, and he's going to go down, and once again, RushieZ playing very separated, playing not as close-knit as they did in maps 2 and 3.
Yeah, for Avexys to get caught out there from distance when he had the M-bar, I mean, that's definitely a boo-boo, definitely a mistake on the RushieZ part there to lose out on that really influential power life. But Rebel pushing up so aggressively as a team, all holding hands to make sure they can keep forcing their fight through. Avexys, of course, did not backpack the M-bar, so Monkyz has got it as a reward. Straight away, headshotting the same man that dropped it in the form of Avexys. And 2 shots remaining. 2. Now, they set their sights in the hill. There's 2 players of RushieZ still fighting for it.
There's RushieZ going down. DeTox to the backside of the hill. Goes for the double bounce to the back A. Won't be able to get that off. Flash comes out toward Mono here. Top side of the map. Avexys pushing up into the stairwell. Will go down. Once again, very staggered out positions for RushieZ. Not really having a good solidified team retake of any of these spots. This
is cool to see, actually. I mean, consider how Kardia finished off on the previous map. He was 1-10, I believe, Colin, and now he's 9-4 early on in Regency. Very quickly finding 1v2s, being right at the front, getting the kills. Monkyz as well, 5-1. And look at this, flashback to map number 1. Avexys 0-7 right now. Not having the greatest of times, already lost the M-bar in this very corner that Monkyz sits with the M-bar himself that he took from him. And Rebel have once more a 98-point score lead, as they did on Reactor, and I don't know why INZEM essentially went for that. He must have not known there was an M-bar ready to shoot at him. RushieZ, though, does pick it up nonetheless, finding Monkyz, and a second. Great shot on the crack, the next hill right in front of him.
Coming out the flashbang, Kardia is going to get shots towards Avexys. Avexys will rotate back inside the middle of the map. He's going to get shot by Mono from behind. He's going to go down. Quick little cleanup. Kardia will get one. Two more players inside the middle of the map to get shots towards. Smoke comes out. INZEM, middle of the stairwell. We'll rotate back to the top side of the map. RushieZ here with the M-bar. Goes for one shot, misses it. Goes for second shot, misses that as well. Gets flashed, dropped right in his face, covers his face. DeTox gets the help, though, through the middle. Gets at least one kill. Going to continue to go for that reaction to try to get a second. Won't be able to get that. Here comes RushieZ on the possible help shot. Gets the kill. And the revive. Big play there by RushieZ and DeTox. And they have cut the lead in just about half officially in another 10 seconds or so.
RushieZ saving the day once more. Really good job there, reading the player. Go across the walls, he tries to take cover for him. RushieZ says no, Gibbs just over. INZEM not able to find the Gib over the wall this time though. Crack to the rescue of his teammate. Some score left on this middle hill, but a very easily contested one. So who's going to rotate first? That's the question, really. 20 seconds still. The fights continue. RushieZ as well finding the 1v victories, and Crack. Everyone else are just running after him essentially. They're not quick enough to get to the next hill first, of course. They're just chasing the tail that no longer exists. Next hill is across the way.
Inside of the next hill, two players of RushieZ already there to play defense. One player at the middle stairwell. INZEM is going to be able to check Crack. Curious to see if they're going to send three players up toward the middle of the map toward INZEM. INZEM's going to get called out. He gefilte the fishes very quickly with Avexys. Won't be able to get that first shot on as they're going to back off from that stairwell. And now it looks like Rebel is going to rotate up, go for the new respawned M-bar. They get it in the hands of Xploidz, and now they're going to try to overtake the close respawn. Oh, big body shot, but won't be able to get the kill. And then INZEM goes down over that cover.
That was a glorious shot, wasn't it? A read through the window. RushieZ stuck on his own back at the spawn. Rebel just going to leave him, or they're going to eventually turn around. Looks like the latter, but lots of shots being sent Crack's way to RushieZ, sweeping through this next hill. RushieZ as well, still alive, very much so, finding Xploidz. The M-bar is out of action. And INZEM, speaking of power weapons, gets his frags calling. That's a nice little setup for RushieZ. They should be able to, on paper at least, take the score lead from this, bar a miracle from Rebel. Although, they're moving fast with the spawn, aren't they?
I mean, flying out back toward that hill once they got that close respawn as well, and see what they're able to do with this next set of retake. Avexys is going to go down. You see already RushieZ. They're trying to get out of here 20 seconds or less. Only player on this side of the map that could challenge them is Monkyz. This is that first shot on the DeTox. Gets angled out from the 90 degree. Goes down. They're going to get that kill, and it could be 4v3 on the map if they're not careful. Rebel could lose a couple of players early in this one. They're going to step off of that hill and give them as much time as possible to try to be able to get... They're going to try to get as much time as possible before that next hill spawns. Back A there, onto Kardia. Gets the down. Crack is going to get lancered out as well. Now they're going to push out toward the middle of the map. That's going to be Xploidz trying to get shots on. He's going to have a teammate up to the top side of the map. Once again, I believe they're going to be able to wait for this new respawned M-bar again, Toby. I think that's two M-bars back-to-back they might be giving up over to Rebel because of the way that Rebel's going to take time at the top.
Yeah, I think RushieZ have really considered the threat that's in front of them right now in that shotgun department, and so they're being a bit more passive. They're keeping the distance whenever preferable, whenever possible even. Now, speaking of that, Avexys throwing himself into the next does find Crack. A 4v3 situation essentially presents itself in the front. And RushieZ will just simply lance her out and actually get control of that Ember once more. RushieZ the man to pick it up. I guess we go back to basics, right? RushieZ's classic lancers, playing things by the book, does actually pay off for them there. And the Scorley chose it.
Without a doubt, I mean, Hey, look, if you're playing as the cog and you don't know how to Lancer, you better get yourself back to basics. They got a boot camp in this game for a reason. Hell, I rock that training skin almost every day just to make sure people understand. I still got my training wheels on, baby. I'm still working on it, so you'll see me Lancer out, try to get that angle out, try to make people's lives a little bit harder. 187 to 139 here between RushieZ and Rebel. Rebel has rotated down to the bottom side of the Rose Garden, trying to take up their position. Misroll comes out. RushieZ will pick him off quite easily. Looking for a secondary shot, won't be able to get that one. Reload comes out, now looking toward the middle. RushieZ M-bar in hand, misses a second shot now, but I mean, DeTox has gone absolutely nutty buddy over there to help get that final kill after getting down. Avexys bouncing through the middle of the map, tries to get one of his own, won't be able to get it. A ton of Lancer damage coming out. RushieZ getting down left, right, and center. They need the help. They need the 45. DeTox tries to stretch out. Gets the first, but it's actually a trade. Now looking for some second. RushieZ needs a little bit of help here. Tagged up. INZEM down. INZEM picked back up. RushieZ is now on his third down and out. He's got to stay alive or put the M-bar in his back. One or the other, Toby. One or the other.
He needs to pick one. He's not going to stay alive, though. The M-bar is lost. Here is DeTox off spawn, though. Avexys is coming through as well. They held out long enough, did those RushieZ members, for the reinforcements to finally come to their rescue. And it's worth it as well, isn't it? 50 seconds left on this hill. It was a fairly close game in score, but it's going to change quite a bit now, you feel as though, with RushieZ just broaching past that, or going past that 200 mark. Oh, that's a great nade. Let's at least move them. But have got to cover. They have scrambled safety for now, but quickly RushieZ do enclose on their position. Here comes Crack flying through the center. Great nade again, moving Rebel once more, who've done a fantastic job of dodging the nades, but they can't survive forever. Xploidz finds one in the middle. All his points are almost gone.
Xploidz is going to back up toward this middle stairwell, toward the door. He's going to get taken out. 2 players from RushieZ already here at P2 as we have reset the hills, and RushieZ is going to bleed that first hill out dry. 7 more seconds gets him to the 245, 250 marker, somewhere in that area. Trying to get it to spawn as quickly as humanly possible. Continue their point accumulation. 1 player to the backside. That's going to be a RushieZ. Backside of the hill. 1 player at the big window. That's going to be DeTox. Trying to get shots into the 90 degree. They're all flooding in. Rebel floods across the hill. Smokes out. Reloads that M-bar. Active M-bar out toward him. INZEM won't be able to get the shot off in time. And now RushieZ might send 1 player through the middle of the map to try to go on a little flank here on their retake attempt. I believe he's going to get checked by Monkyz. No, they're bringing them all back toward the big windows.
1 check. That's all Crack needs. He'll find it and get the kill on RushieZ. Rebel need to hold now. It's got away from them a little bit too much this game, and they are finally stringing kills together, and they're close enough, certainly, to keep themselves in this series. Great kill from INZEM. Staying alive by the side. Crack trying to keep his distance, and Kardia will go wide with the Lancer. Finally, some points go on the board for Rebel, but there's not a huge amount left on this hill, I will say, Colin. They need to keep this warm up. While Avexys and RushieZ just collect power weapons around the map, ready for the next.
Misroll right in front of DeTox. That's never going to end well. 193 to 251 within a 60-point differential now. 13 seconds left. Back in by RushieZ, but the misroll will cause him to be taken down. INZEM trying to Lancer out as much as he can for the big window. Need help in just a moment. Shots out. 2 downs come through. Both cleanups will be there, but a close respawn will go over to Rebel, so they'll have a pretty quick time to get back into this position, get back into this next fight. What they do here is Kardia and Crack are already inside of the hill. INZEM tries to make 1 player miss, makes him miss, but can't get the shot to connect to be able to get a kill.
Oh, hello. DeTox as well. Lovely shot at the end there to make sure that will come on through. RushieZ was there just in case. But less than 50 seconds needed for RushieZ to conclude this whole series, and much more than that remaining on this hill. Avexys, important job for him now, Colin. Just stay alive. Keep your distance. You've got the short spawn on lock. The Lance sport is to his right, but Xploidz has the M-bar. Threatening to say the least. Lovely checker to INZEM, and Kardia has found that kill too. RushieZ need to hold on for 20 more seconds.
Try to rotate in here. Xploidz is going to go down. Kardia is going to get the trade out. He goes down, but he does get the chunk off. Well, that is absolutely huge for his team. Now RushieZ, though, the kill comes in. 13 seconds left. They're going to need to be able to hold on to this for just a few more moments to finish off this 3-1 trouncing after that map 1 defeat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the final bell, the final buzzer. Rebel, they don't answer the bell toll. RushieZ, though, rise to the occasion. First time back on stream after winning the major. They go up against a very tough contender in Rebel. And after a map 1 of confusing mishaps and misplays, they must have gotten into the comms, settled in for the long haul, and made this look oh so sweet to their fans for the next 3 straight maps.
Yeah, couldn't say it better. Honestly, surprising as well, despite, you know, how well RushieZ played in the end and the score difference as we concluded map number 4. Avexys was still on 5-16 in the end there. You know, he kind of really didn't actually get going. But it's the rest of the team that clearly did get going towards the towards those closing moments of Regency. And it goes to show that RushieZ can actually perform as a team even when perhaps one player isn't performing at his usual standard. And they do hold themselves to a high standard, do RushieZ. And it's why I bring up KDs and things throughout this series, because, you know, we do expect better from them in many of these situations and maps. Regardless of the opponent, but especially against Rebel, who are more of a middle-of-the-pack team. But saying that, Colin, you know, there is definite praise for Rebel in this instance. I mean, they had a really good series to kick things off. Map number 1 was awesome from them. They looked like a different team almost. Could have been KCP playing there on Reactor for sure. And then map number 4 as well. There's some really good moments at the start. Kardia himself coming off speaking of KD's 1-10, KD on Vasgar, and doing super well himself. Xploidz getting the M bar plenty of times. And look at the score lead, top left, 125-27. But RushieZ and the rest of RushieZ just clawed their way back. But Rebel never able to get it going in a way they've had before. RushieZ just ran away with it in the end.
It's really I want to say obvious. It's really apparent to me that Rebel is really good at taking advantage of the mistakes that their opponents make. It's the little things, though, where Rebel all of a sudden finds themselves getting wolfpacked at, and they don't necessarily have the best answer for it. Whereas RushieZ kept finding a way to kind of rotate around, find the 45, find the Lancer angle, find a way to help a teammate out. Whereas Rebel just kind of had everybody in the same area, shotguns out, trying to get quick kills rather than assured kills. And I think that's the biggest difference between maps 2, 3, and 4. To me, as you look at the Clocktower, they were going for the long shot to try to ensure a kill later, but RushieZ and RushieZ, they're lancering out, they're peppering up and getting the fragmentation and throwing them in the area, not to ensure a kill, but to guarantee the kill, to clean up the kill. You go to Vasgar, very much the same thing, very much the similar status quo, where RushieZ, they play around each other, they're lancering out. As soon as somebody's down, if they're not getting killed off, the bleed out is coming with somebody kind of standing above them like a guard dog. They're not letting somebody get back there for the revive. That's the big difference to me, is that RushieZ was not ensuring kills. They were guaranteeing those bad boys.
Yeah. It's always a team effort with RushieZ, it seems like. And I mean that generally in the way plays are made. It's yes, don't get me wrong. We talked about INZEM earlier as kind of being the icebreaker oftentimes, being at the front, doing the difficult really situations to set him and his team apart from others. But honestly, oftentimes it's more of a team effort from RushieZ. We went to the Lancers on Regency, and they did play out in a more textbook fashion as we thought they might. Play a bit more distance, try and find those angles, avoid the shotgun battles if you can, outplay and go extremely wide to ensure you stay alive and not risk anything against their opposition. And it was back to basics. I'll agree with you on many moments of Regency in that sense, because RushieZ, they absolutely guaranteed the kills. They secured the hills. The rotations were really... how many times did we see RushieZ, INZEM, and other players pick up power weapons across the map at the same time as their teammate would the other side too? RushieZ, they plan ahead. They make sure that all variables are covered, and when they do actually nail that kind of gameplay, they're almost unstoppable, Colin. And it's a breath of fresh air oftentimes, because we have so many fast teams in this game, and RushieZ have to go fast at times too. But when you slow it down, RushieZ seem to be one of the best teams we've ever seen in Gears Esports for sure.
RushieZ did indeed slowed it down. They made Rebel play perfect, and the mistakes were abound for them in maps 2 through 4, giving RushieZ the 3-1 victory over them here in our second matchup of the day. But don't go anywhere. We've got one more matchup to go. It's going to be Team Queso versus Casa de Papel. Don't go anywhere.